A very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Lord, and in our news, pomp and pageantry as His Royal Highness Prince Charles participates in a wreath-laying ceremony on the Barbados leg of his Caribbean tour. A private sector agency has a wish list for tomorrow's budget speech. A Catholic cleric believes that the church is failing Barbados. And in sports, the boys and girls title decided at the 2019 knapsack.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC News Night, starting now.
Their Royal Highnesses, the Prince of Wales and Duchess of Cornwall, are on the final leg of their one-day visit to the island. And joining us live now is Lisa Boom, and she was part of the team that covered the Royals' visit. Lisa, it seems as though they had a very packed agenda.
Thanks, Lisa. You're right. They did have a lot to do. Prince Charles and the Duchess of Cornwall did have quite a few events for today. They started by paying a courtesy call on Governor-General Dame Sandra Mason at Government House, and that was expected because, as you know, Dame Sandra is the Queen's representative on the island. And later, hundreds of people gathered in National Hero Square to witness a wreath-laying ceremony, complete with the pomp and pageantry that these events bring. Now, notably, a number of visitors were among the spectators, which is really no surprise since we are in the tourist season, and as we know, a significant number of our visitors are British. Let's take a look. One of the Prince's first activities was the ceremony at National Hero Square. He laid a wreath at the cenotaph, the monument to honor soldiers who died in the World Wars. The Prince also presided over a ceremony consecrating the new colours of the Barbados Coast Guard and the Cadet Corps. In brief remarks, Prince Charles told the parade he was proud to present the new ceremonial colours to the Coast Guard 38 years after his mother, Queen Elizabeth II, first approved them. He said he's confident members of the ranks will carry the colours proudly.
If I may say so, that pride will be wholly justified by the commitment, professionalism and dedication to service, both locally and regionally, with which you have served your country and the Queen over these past 4 decades. As you enter into your 40th year of service as part of the Barbados Defence Force and alongside the Barbados Regiment, I am certain that you will not only continue to serve with distinction, but also to inspire all those who come after you and to whom these colours will one day be passed.
In response, Commanding Officer of the Barbados Coast Guard, Commander Mark Peterson, thanked the Prince for presenting both entities with their new colours.
In the presence of so many who would have added to the reputation of both units, and in this, our 40th year of continuous service, I give you my word on behalf of the Barbados Coast Guard and the Barbados Cadet Corps that we will guard and honour our colours from whatever may lie ahead in the years to come. Wherever we are in the future, these colours shall remind us of this day in Your Highness's presence at Hero Square. They are the visible pledge of our deep and constant loyalty to Her Majesty. These colours will inspire us and lead us steadfast to wherever we go in the future.
Afterward, Prince Charles, accompanied by the Duchess of Cornwall, greeted several of the people who gathered to witness the event. After exchanging pleasantries, their Royal Highnesses walked over to the Parliament buildings, where they met with Prime Minister Mia Amour-Motley. Well, Lisa, the Royals' Day continued with the Prince visiting the Naidi Israel Synagogue, the field medical facility of the Barbados Defence Force, as well as the regional security system. Then in the afternoon, they visited a senior citizens village, while the Duchess, in her capacity as president of the Women of the World Festival, attended an event for Barbadian women of influence. She also visited the Derek Smith School and Vocational Center, as well as the Maria Holder Diabetes Center. Then it was off to Coral Reef Club, where the Prince met with participants of the Prince's Trust International. Sharika Griffith attended that event, and she says a major announcement was made there.
Barbados is set to become the center of operations for the Prince's Trust International in the region. This has been revealed by Chairman of the international charity, Sir Lloyd Dorfman. According to Sir Lloyd, the trust is on a mission to help 10,000 young people in the region over the next 5 years, an initiative that will cost £5 million.
Our work here in Barbados was one of the earliest things we did when Prince's Trust International was first formed 3.5 years ago. We always hoped that it would grow and it would become a hub. And I'm delighted to be able to say today that that is absolutely the case. And we will shortly be expanding our work in the region into Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, and from Barbados as a hub to work with the smaller islands in the East Caribbean.
International superstar Lionel Richie has agreed to become the Trust's first global ambassador and chairman of the Global Ambassador Group. Richie, along with Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley and several other government ministers, were on hand to greet participants of the local program. The Prince hopes the Trust will address the high levels of unemployment in the region.
I'm enormously proud of all the young people who I've met today, who are a great example of what I think we can do to help turn people's lives around, to transform their opportunities, and of course to give them not only the life skills but the other skills that are so badly needed in so many parts of our economy. And sometimes the dots aren't joined up together. So the great thing I hope is through the Get Into program we can help see if young people have an aptitude for different skills which are in demand.
International singer Tom Jones was also present at the meet and greet. Sharika Griffith, CBC News.
Thanks, Sharika. And Lisa, if the Royals stick to their schedule, they should be at a reception at Government House, which is expected to be their last engagement before they leave the island for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Back to you.
A very packed schedule indeed. Thank you so much, Lisa. Well, a government minister is telling Barbadians there's no place for xenophobia in the country. This amid concerns that the island could suffer fallout from a decision to implement the protocol of contingent rights. Now, those rights pave the way for dependents of people with approved skills certificates to not only move freely with their loved ones, but access basic social services. Home Affairs Minister Edmund Hinkson says Barbados is part of CARICOM, and Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley has taken a leadership role with respect to the single market and economy. He says Barbados has benefited from CARICOM more than any other member state.
We are able to sell goods to other CARICOM countries, St. Lucia, Trinidad, Dominica, Grenada, Jamaica, St. Kitts, without duties and tariffs, which are applied to goods coming in from outside the CARICOM. That is what it is. So why then should we then say that other CARICOM nationals can't come to Barbados and live, and that Barbados should only be for Barbarians? Well, if every country in the world were to send back every Barbarian tomorrow to Barbados, what are we going to do?
The minister adds that over 50% of what Barbados produces goes to other CARICOM member states free of duties. He says that this arrangement allows Barbadian products to compete with international brands.
I've been to St. Vincent and seen Mount Gay rum selling cheaper in St. Vincent than Barbados. And you know why that's possible? Because it enters St. Vincent without any duties, tariffs, nothing. In other words, it's like getting on a plane, all right, carry your passport, and the next 40 minutes you're in St. Vincent, all right, but for that we got to pay taxes, a lot of taxes on the ticket. But the rum and what we produce, manufacturing, going in there without any duty being paid, tariffs, nothing. And because of that, then, the Barbados product is competitive against products from outside the region.
What's Trending is brought to you by Trident Insurance. We treat you like family.
And we say hello again to Lisa in our social media corner to tell us what is trending.
Well, good evening once again, Lisa. Welcome this time to What's Trending. Now, in less than 2 weeks, the ban on single-use plastics in Barbados will come into force. Many Barbadians are questioning the alternatives and how the ban will impact their pockets. But what's also important to consider is the need to make a change to save the environment. These Facebook users agree. Now, Ashanda Coward says plastic is bad for the environment. She says if we don't take care of it, then no one will be able to benefit, not even the businesses. Ashanda says if the alternatives to plastic are more costly, well, we'll just have to adjust prices to suit. And Nicole Clark says some of those who are complaining about the ban are the head ones that are littering and hurting the environment. Well, it's not a problem that is unique to Barbados. It's felt on land, on air, and in the sea. Take a look at these photos of a dead whale and some of the 88 pounds of plastic pulled from its stomach. The whale, which washed up in the Philippines, died of dehydration and starvation after all the plastic it swallowed made it hard for it to eat. Well, following the tragic mosque shootings in New Zealand, which claims the lives of 50 people, an Australian senator has been criticized for his anti-immigration comments. Now, you might have heard the expression, you have egg on your face, and it simply means that you've made yourself look foolish by your actions. Well, this senator ended up with egg, but we'll let you see where.
A lot of things happen when people are getting attacked in their own...
Wow.
Wow. Well, the young man in the video has earned the nickname Egg Boy, and he's received an outpouring of support, including over $30,000 in donations, which he plans to give to the victims of the attack. And some people may argue that that attack was deserved, but this one definitely was not. Take a look.
I was very frightened.
A special needs girl ambushed in a hallway, thrown to the ground and beaten. Classmates shared the video on social media.
This is not the first time that these young ladies did this.
Lourdes Body says her daughter has been bullied and assaulted like this for months, and school officials did little to stop it.
My heart sunk because I wasn't there to help my daughter. I wasn't there to protect her.
Her daughter is 11-year-old Nadia Benton.
It's okay, Pumpkin.
Well, that is never okay. So let's always offer support to those with special needs. And there's one way that you can do this. It is by wearing colorful socks. On Thursday, March 21st, it's all for World Down Syndrome's Day. The Rock Your Socks campaign is aimed at bringing awareness to the condition. Now, if you've been taking a look at the skies recently, you may have noticed that it looks pretty hazy on the outside. Well, that's all because of the Saharan dust. The dust collects in strong winds which blow over the desert and can be spread worldwide by strong currents. So people with respiratory issues may be feeling the effects a bit more than others, and they've been advised to take precautions to avoid the worst of it. So that's all the time we have now for What's Trending this evening. Of course, you can find us easily on Facebook. We're also on Instagram, and you can reach us on email. Lisa, will you be rocking your socks on Thursday?
I definitely will.
So will I. So we'll see you then.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Lisa. One of the island's most senior Catholics says that the church has failed Barbados. The comment from the Most Reverend Dr. Jason Gordon during a service to mark the 100th and 20th anniversary of its dedication. Lisa Boom tells us more.
Prime Minister Mia Amor Motley and Governor General Dame Sandra Mason were in the congregation for the criticism and subsequent call to arms for Catholics. Dr. Gordon says 120 years after it was dedicated, the Catholic Church has to do better for Barbados. In fact, he says the church's story is one of resilience in the face of challenges, not unlike the situation the island is facing now.
Partly because of our bad witness, partly because we have not lived what the gospel has called us to live, partly because we have not been for this people, for this nation, what we should be, partly because the bright light of Jesus Christ is not shining out of us by our example, about how we are living, about what we are doing.
And Dr. Gordon challenged the church to use this time of celebration to join with other denominations to speak out more and be better examples.
Because there's so much that can be said that is so negative, and yet there's so much that is so beautiful about this beloved country, and about our people, and about the values that we have, and about the way that we still manage to share what we don't have with others who have less than what we have. There's so much beauty and amazing characteristics about us
page of any newspaper, or headline on any TV news.
One of the highlights of the service was the unveiling of a special painting to mark the milestone. Lisa Broom, CBC News.
Speaking English alone should no longer be an option for young Barbadians, and that's the belief of Director of Alliance Francaise, Stanley René. And Mr. René, whose native language is French, says that there are many benefits to speaking more than one language.
There are numerous opportunities for the French-speaking youth in Barbados, whether it be attending prestigious programs in French universities in metropolitan France or Université des Antilles, or attending excellent programs in Canada, in the many Francophone universities, or benefit from a great paid experience in France, allowing them to be an English assistant in French school for 8 months. These programs would provide them with indispensable experiences and open them to a world of opportunities they would have never known, offering possibilities some could only dream of.
And he was speaking during a reception to celebrate International Day of the Francophone, which is celebrated on March 20th. Francophone celebrates the French language and the different people who speak it in all variations. Canadian High Commissioner Marie Lagolle says it's meant to encourage French speakers to seize every opportunity to speak that language.
Very often in this new world of science and technology, when we create new words, they tend to be more in English, but the Secretary General of the Francophonie is using her theme of this year to basically say, let's translate those words, let's use them, let's be creative. We can also create new words in French to translate this new economy, this new technology, artificial intelligence, all of it.
Jamaica is being told it has the potential to be a first-class venue for major shows. This follows the successful hosting of Buju Banton's historic sold-out Long Walk to Freedom concert over the weekend.
The future of entertainment tourism looks bright. That's the view from Delano Sivrite, Chief Advisor and Strategist to the Minister of Tourism. He says arrivals have been trending up recently thanks to a series of festivals from Rum at Hope Gardens to Coffee in the Blue Mountains. Both were attended by thousands of people. However, Buju Banton's Long Walk to Freedom concert was watched by a capacity crowd inside the National Stadium.
The Buju show really highlighted to the world that Jamaica can be a first-class place for major entertainment shows. To be able to accommodate so many people comfortably at the National Stadium within a very professional setup, I think was absolutely impressive, and it shows to the world that Kingston can accommodate mega events, and we did, and we are very happy about it.
On March 15 of last year, 1,000 foreign nationals arrived at Norman Manley International Airport. This year saw 2,432 people arrive in Kingston, with 7,389 foreign nationals at Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay. He notes that most of the visitors are of Jamaican descent, but holders of British, Canadian and American passports. Sivrite says the Kingston economy was boosted by millions of dollars. He says the city can continue to pull in huge crowds with increased private sector partnership, thus benefiting the tourism and entertainment industries.